Earlier, I spoke to P.J. Crowley, a professor at George Washington University and a former U.S. State Department spokesman. And I asked him about Sunday's violent attacks in Pakistan and whether the country's nuclear facilities are at risk.
This was a sophisticated attack, well planned, well executed, not unprecedented. So I think that they pose a significant danger, to Pakistani society. Now, in terms of Pakistan and its nuclear deterrent, that's the crown jewel of the Pakistani government. I think that's difficult. There, you'd be concerned about some sort of an insider threat.
Talk about the division within the Pakistani Taliban. What does it say that despite a split within the group, that it was still able to carry out an attack of this magnitude?
Well, take the lens a bit larger. There's a range of extremist groups in Pakistan. Some have relationships with the government, with the military, with the intelligence services. Others have broken from that relationship and now pose a threat to the Pakistani government. And this is the kind of the devil's brew that you have in Pakistan. Pakistan has traditionally used extremism as a foreign policy tool, against India and to provide strategic depth, as they say, in the context of Afghanistan. But as you're seeing with the evolution of the TTP and now the split within the TTP, it's one thing, to use this weapon. It's another thing to control this weapon. And obviously, extremists are now turning against the government in ways that pose an existential threat to the Pakistani state.
And, there were peace talks between the Pakistani Taliban and the government. So what happens now?
Well, the Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has tried to make peace, with the TTP. Those talks recently have stalled. Perhaps this is an endeavor to kind of re-energize this, refocus the government and the urgency of having those talks succeed. This is the challenge for the Pakistani state, and obviously the Pakistani people are looking at the state and going, wait a second, we devote a very substantial percentage of the Pakistani GDP on security, and yet, are we really that safe? And so this is going to create political challenges for the Sharif government.
How likely is it that we will see more attacks like this within that country and possibly spill over internationally?
In the last several years, no country has suffered as significant or paid a significant price in terms of extremism, than Pakistan. Obviously, Syria perhaps is now, gaining in that way. And this is a conundrum for Pakistan. If it takes military action against extremist groups, it gets a reaction like we've seen at the Karachi airport. It puts a premium on dialogue, but there's such a range of groups here. Being able to get all of them, under the tent, all of them to agree to peace is going to be very, very difficult for the Pakistani government.